Hey everybody, this is a game of payoff pitch baseball. I wanted to get another game of payoff pitch out there on video just because I enjoy the game so much. But I wasn't sure what to play, and then I thought about it. Since we're getting into the pennant races of this major league season, there was no wild card back in 1982, so this game here was for all the marbles in the AL East. Had they had the wild card, obviously the loser would have still made the playoffs, but they didn't have that back then, so this was win or go home, and this is the final game of the 1982 season between the Milwaukee Brewers and the Baltimore Orioles from Memorial Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland. And it's going to be Jim Palmer against Don Sutton, two veterans, both 37 years old in this 1982 season. The Brewers had acquired Sutton from the Astros in a midseason trade to help bolster their pitching staff. And, of course, Jim Palmer is legendary Jim Palmer. Even at 37, he was still in pretty good shape and was pretty effective. He ended up with a record of 15-5 with a 3.13 ERA. So, obviously, and Earl Weaver trusted him to pitch this all-important game. All right, we'll go through the starting lineups, and then we'll get going with the game itself. And these are the actual lineups from that game. So leading off will be Paul Molitor at third base. Robin Yount is at shortstop. He will hit second. Cecil Cooper is at first base. He will hit third. Ted Simmons is doing the catching. He will bat cleanup. Ben Ogilvie is in left field. He is hitting fifth. Gorman Thomas is the center fielder, hits sixth. Roy Howell is the DH. He will hit seventh. Charlie Moore is in right field. He will hit eighth. And Ed Romero is second baseman, batting ninth. And for the Orioles, they will lead off with Al Bumry in center field. Glenn Gulliver is playing third base, and he's batting second. Ken Singleton's in right field. He will hit third. Eddie Murray, first baseman, hits cleanup. John Lowenstein, the left fielder, hits fifth. Jim Dwyer, the DH, will hit sixth. Cal Ripken at short will hit seventh. Rick Dempsey, the catcher, will bat eighth. And Rich Dower at second will bat ninth. And there you see the stadium card for Memorial Stadium. It's got a pretty big wheelhouse check if you're a left-handed batter. 1 to 74 will get you a wheelhouse, whereas a right-hander, it's only 1 to 59. So we are all set for this final game of the 1982 regular season. The winner goes on to play the Angels in the ALCS. The loser goes home and thinks about it until next year. So here we go. Paul Molitor steps in the box against Palmer. Oh, that one went way off the screen there, didn't it? So it's a 30, and it's a 5 and a 30. So Palmer, a 5. A 5 for Palmer is in play. So Paul Molitor, an in-play 30 against a right-handed batter, or right-handed pitcher. That's a 7 to 31. 30 fits that bill, so that's a leadoff single for Paul Molitor as he tries to get the Brewers off to the right track. Now, Molitor stole 41 bases on the season, so we'll check and see if he can get a jump. And the hold rating for Palmer, he's got a pretty good hold rating of 7, so we'll see if he can get the jump or not. We will cross-reference Molitor's steal number, which is a 5, with the jump hold rating of Palmer, which is a 7. So if we cross-reference this 5 and 7, that means we need a 0 through 56 to get the steal attempt. Otherwise, he'll have to hold and not steal. So this has to be a 56 or less to get the jump. And if he gets the jump, he's got to go. It's a 17, so he got the jump. He will be trying to steal. Now let's factor in the stolen base scenario. Paul Molitor is a B-rated stealer, and the arm rating for the catcher Dempsey is a 1. So if we look at the steal rating, a B and a 1, we find the combination of those two letters and numbers, and we know we're in this column right here. So if it's a 13 to 59, he's going to be caught stealing. If it's 60 or higher, he'll make it. Anything less than 12, he'll make it, and there might even be an error. But 13 to 59, he's going to be thrown out. So we'll see what happens here. Hard to run on Rick Dempsey. So here's the attempt by Molitor. There he goes. It's a 6, a 0-6. So a 0-6 says it's SB with a possible E2. So we go over to this result here. It says runner safe with stolen base. Roll 1d6 if higher than the catcher's E rating. Wild throw into the outfield. Well, the E rating for Dempsey is a 3. So if this die is a 4, 5, or 6, it will be an error. It's a 3. It's not higher. It's the same. So there is no error, but it is going to be a stolen base for Paul Molitor. So he gets the Brewers off to a great start for them with a single and a leadoff stolen base. So now Robin Yount is up. And we've got a 2 on the 2D6s, and we've got a 5 on the 2D10s. 2 is ballpark. And when you get a 5 in the ballpark, that's going to be the wheelhouse. So Palmer, unfortunately, has put one in Robin Yount's wheelhouse. And if it's a 1 to 69, Robin Yount's going to go deep. And it is. It's a 17. So Robin Yount has just hit a 2-run shot. And before the seats even get warm, the Brewers, Harvey's Wallbangers, are up 2-0 on Jim Palmer, Earl Weaver, and the Orioles. Earl Weaver might be going to smoke another cigarette. Here's Cecil Cooper. Cooper, that was an 8. I just hit with my finger. It's an 87. It's a 4 and 87. 4 is in play for Palmer. Right there, 84 is in play, or 4 is in play. In play, 87. That's well out of range. 87 is a ground ball to short. And there's one away. So Cooper is gone. That brings up Ted Simmons, catcher. That's an 8, and that's again in play on Palmer. And a 74. So a 74 in play is going to make it a fly to center. And there's 2 away as Bumry puts that away. And now that brings up the left fielder, Ben Ogilvy. Oh, and there goes Palmer. All right, we got an 82 and we got a 7. So 7 is patient on Palmer, and an 82, patient only goes to 45, so 82 is going to drop down to a ground ball to short, and that's handled by Ripken to end the inning. But the Brew Crew put 2 up in the first inning thanks to that 2-run homer by Yount, and they've posted a 2-0 lead for Don Sutton to protect. Here's Al Bumry. And it's a 73 and an 8. So an 8 on Sutton. 8 on Sutton is patient. And a 73 for Bumry. Patient 73. It only goes to 47. 73 is a ground ball to second. Ed Romero makes the play. One away. That'll bring up Glenn Gulliver. That's a 48 and a 5. So 5 on Sutton is tough. And a tough 48. He only goes to 42 for the hits. So 48 is a ground ball to Romero again. So 2 ground balls to second. And that's how the Orioles are out with 2 quick outs here in the first. Here's Ken Singleton. Singleton, that's a 7 and a 90. So 7 is in play and a 90. 90 is a ground ball to short. So this time Yount fields it. So Sutton gets 3 easy ground outs to end the top of the first. Played 1 complete here at Memorial Stadium. It is 2-0 Milwaukee. Now Palmer will have to go back out there and see if he can't regroup. Here's Gorman Thomas, Stormin Gorman. Stormin Gorman, it's a 5, which is in play, but it's a 95. And a 95 is going to be a fly to left that Lowenstein handles. 1 away. That'll bring up Roy Howell. So Roy Howell, the batter, DH. It's a 36. It's a 7, which is patient. Patient 36 for Howell, and that's going to be a base hit right there, 27 to 43. So Roy Howell gets himself a base hit. Here's Charlie Moore. Moore, it's a 10, which is tough for Palmer, and it's a 36. So tough 36 is still going to be a base hit right there, 33 to 46. It's a base hit. The lead die is a 4, so we're going to check runner advancement with the runner at first. Runner at first, lead die of 4, you get 1 base. So just a 1 base advancement. Howell will stop at second. But 2 on with only 1 out for the number 9 hitter, Ed Romero. So Ed Romero, not sure why Jim Gantner didn't play in this game unless he was hurt. But they had Romero, so that's what we're going with. It's an 8, which is in play on Palmer, and a 65. In play 65 is a ground ball to second. So this is a chance for a double play. We checked the 2 D6s to determine that. It's an 8. the double play rating on Palmer is a 7, so the 8's higher than the 7. That means it is going to be a fielder's choice. There will not be a double play. So the fielder's choice is going to go 4-6. So Moore is out at second as Dower flips to Ripken for out number 2. Romero will reach, and Howell will scoot over to third. So runners are at the corners. Runners are at the corners, and 2 outs for Paul Molitor. He singled, stole second, and scored his first time up. It is a 28 on the D10s and a 9. So 9 is in play, and a 28 in play is a base hit for Molitor. So that will score. Howell to make it 3-0. And now we'll check the base running advancement for, let's see, it's a lead die of 4, so runner on first only gets 1 base. So Romero stops at second. It's now 3-0 Brewers, and the Orioles got the bullpen going because they can't wait around. This is do or die. Sammy Stewart's in the bullpen. He may be called upon early. He's their long relief guy. Let's see here. It's 7 on Palmer, which is patient, and a 68. Yount, patient, 68, is going to be a ground ball to second. A chance for another double play. It's a 7 this time, which is within the double play rating of Palmer. And it's also within the double play rating. No, it's not. Yount's only got a 6. I take it back. So it's going to be a fielder's choice. So once again, Yount able to beat out the relay. Molitor is out 6-4. I think it was 6. Let's see. 68 is it's a 4-6 again. It's a ground ball to Dower. And going to third base is Romero. So runners again are at the corners with 2 outs now for Cecil Cooper. So this is a big spot in the ball game. They could blow this thing wide open with a base hit. It's a 4, which on Palmer is in play, and a 54. So in play 54 is going to be a ground ball to third, and that's going to end the inning as Gulliver throws over to Murray. And actually, the Orioles came up pretty good, only allowing the 1 run. It could have been a lot worse. But we go to the bottom of the second. It's 3-0 Brewers, and the Orioles are in a little bit of trouble. Sutton given 3 runs to protect. Here's Eddie Murray to start off the bottom of the second. Eddie Eat, Drink, and Be Murray. It's a 9, which is in play, and a 23. In play 23, that's a base hit for Eddie Murray. So Murray's trying to get his team going with a jump start. Leadoff single. Brings up John. Let It Be Lowenstein. It's a 10, which is tough, and a 78. Well, that was a 7 there. I hit it with my hand. 78, tough. And that's going to be a fly to center, so that's Gorman Thomas territory. 1 away. And that brings up Jim Dwyer. And that's a 5 and a 15. So 5 is tough for Sutton. Tough 15 is a strikeout. Those low numbers in the tough range generally lead to strikeouts. So there's 2 away with Murray at first. And here's Cal Ripken. Ripken, that's a 2, which is defense under Sutton. And we got a 49. So we'll check our defensive chart, see who's being looked upon. 49 is the error rating of the second baseman Romero. And Ed Romero, his error rating, we pull up his card. Ed Romero's error rating at second base is a 2. So we go to the ballpark card on Memorial Stadium and look at error 2. So that means he made a lot of errors because it got a high number here. 1-53 on the on the 2 D10s, and you will have an error. 54 or higher, he will make the play. So we'll see what happens here as Cal Ripken hits it to Romero. It is a 61. So 61 means he made the play because anything above 53, he's going to make the play. Now the question is, it's a 9, so let's see what kind of an out it was. A 9 is a ground ball double play, but there's already 2 outs, so it's simply going to be a force play. So Yount will flip over to, Romero will flip over to Yount, and the inning is over. So nothing doing for the Orioles in the second. We go to the third. It's still 3-0. Sammy Stewart still loosening just in case, or we with a short leash on Palmer. Here's Simmons. That's a 3, which is the ballpark on Palmer's card. And it's a 46, so we're in the wheelhouse. But Ted Simmons found his wheelhouse, and that's not good for Palmer because in the wheelhouse, a 1-51 will be a home run for Ted Simmons. But it's an 83, so Palmer lucked out on that one. That was an 83. And so an 83 is out of range. 83 is going to be a ground ball to short. So Simmons missed his wheelhouse pitch and ended up grounding it to Ripken for out number 1. Brings up Ben Ogilvy as Palmer dodges a major arrow there. We've got a 22 on the D10s and a 6. 6 is tough. Low number is tough usually means strikeout. Is 22 low enough? It certainly is. Ogilvy's 1 to 26 is a strikeout, so Palmer rung him up. And for Palmer, that's his first strikeout here in the 3rd inning. Brings up Gorman Thomas. Slide to left his first time up. This is a 7 and a 24. 7 is patient. Patient 24, that's going to be a walk. So Gorman Thomas draws the 2-out walk. And we go to the DH, Roy Howell. He singled and scored his first time up. And that is a 5, which is in play. In fact, I'm going to re-roll that because of the interference of the card. I don't want that to taint anything, so we're going to re-roll it. That's a 4, which is in play, and an 83. In play 83 is a ground ball to short, and it's going to end the inning. It's 3rd out, so it doesn't matter if it's a force play or not. And that's it for the Brewers here in the top of the 3rd. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and move the pitcher cards and the stadium card up here to get them out of the way of the dice, and I'll just pull them down as I need them. Here's Rick Dempsey to lead things off here against Sutton. That's a 12. So Sutton 12 is a ballpark. We're in the ballpark, and it's a 19. So 19 means we're in the wheelhouse for Rick Dempsey. However, Rick Dempsey did not hit a whole lot of home runs on the season. He only had 5. So his wheelhouse only goes to 19 for a home run. And that's a 74, so that's going to be an out. 74 is a fly to center. Handled out there by Gorman Thomas. So Dempsey had his pitch but missed it, and that brings up Rich Dower, number 9 hitter. And Dower, that's a 10 on Sutton, and 10 is tough, and a 92. So a tough 92 is well out of range. That's a fly to left. 2 down, and the Orioles are not getting anything at all going against Don Sutton. Here's that Bunbury. 7 on Sutton is in play, and that's a 4, so Bunbury will get something done with that. In play 4 against a righty is a double, so a 2-out double for Bunbury. But now it's going to be up to 3rd baseman Glenn Gulliver to get it done. And we got an 11, which under Sutton is patient. Patient and a 3 for Gulliver. Patient and a 3 is going to be a walk. So that's a walk. Puts 2 on, 2 out for Ken Singleton. And that's a 4, which is on Sutton's card, is the wheelhouse, but it's an 88. So 88, Singleton's wheelhouse doesn't go that high. 88 is going to be a ground ball to short, and that's going to end the 3rd inning. So after 3 complete at Memorial Stadium, we have still a 3-0 Brewers lead. And Charlie Moore will step up. Sammy Stewart has long since sat down, so Palmer seems to have righted the ship a little bit. So they'll give him some more innings. It's a 3 under Palmer, which is the ballpark. And it's a 61. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's 61. So 61 for a right-handed batter is not going to be in the wheelhouse. It's going to be in play. Had Moore been a lefty, it would have been a wheelhouse. But instead, it's in play. So we're going to re-roll this for an in-play result for Charlie Moore. And we get a 21. That's still going to work for Moore. That's going to be a base hit. So Charlie Moore, 2 for 2. And we'll bring up Romero. And Romero, let's see, could he bunt? He's only a D bunter, though, so they're going to go and let him swing away. Not a very good bunter. So we get an 10 and an 87. So it's a 10 and an 87. 10 is tough. 10 is tough. Tough 87 for Romero. 87 is going to drop it into a ground ball to short. But with a 10, that's going to be well above the double play range, so it's simply going to be a fielder's choice. So it's a 6-4 fielder's choice as Ripken tosses to Dower for out number 1. Romero replaces the runner Moore at first. 1 out. Here's Paul Molitor. Paul Molitor, it's a 9 on Palmer, and 9 is in play, and we got a 60. So an in-play 60 for Molitor. In-play only goes to 31. 60 is a fly to right field that Singleton takes care of. 2 away. 2 down for Robin Yount. And we get a 7 on Palmer and a 13. So 7 is patient, and the patient 13 is going to be a walk. Anything low numbers is going to be a walk. So 2-out walk to Yount puts 2 on with 2 outs for Cecil Cooper. So this is a big at bat right here to keep the ball game close. Palmer needs to bear down. We get a 10, and 10 is tough. 10 is tough, and it's a 99. So tough 99. It's going to be that fly to left handled by Lowenstein. And the Brewers are gone here in the 4th. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It's still 3-0 Milwaukee. And Eddie Murray starting things off for the Orioles. He did single his first time up. So we get a 8 under Sutton, and an 8 is patient, and a 37. So a patient 37 is going to be a base hit for Eddie Murray. So Murray's 2 for 2 as he strokes a base hit. Brings up John Lowenstein. And we get a 10 and a 49. 10 for Sutton is tough. Tough 49 for Lowenstein, and that's going to be a base hit as well. The lead die is a 5, so if we're looking for base runner advancement, on here it says 1 base plus choice, and the 1 base plus choice has to do with taking chances on the coach's choice chart key. It says, and down 3-0, they're not going to take any chances on the base pass. They're playing station to station. Earl Weaver believes in the 3-run homer, so Murray will stop at second. 2 on, nobody out for Jim Dwyer, the DH, and Dwyer had 6 home runs in limited duties, so he's certainly capable of going deep if need be. It's a 11 off of Sutton, and 11 is patient. Patient 23 for Dwyer. That's going to be a walk, and the bases are now loaded with nobody out. So the Orioles have something cooking here in the bottom of the 4th. Bases loaded, nobody out, and we're at Cal Ripken's at bat. And that's a 9 and a 66. So a 9 is in play. 66 for Ripken in play is a ground ball to second. With a lead die of 9, though, that's going to be a fielder's choice, and a run will score because they were at double play depth. And the double play rating 9 is way too high for that. So Murray's going to score, give Ripken an RBI on the fielder's choice. Dwyer's out on this one. Let's see here. It was a 66. So it meant it was ground to second. So it's a 4-6 fielder's choice to retire Dwyer at second. Lowenstein goes to third. Runners are at the corners with 1 out, and 1 run is in. Lead is cut to 3-1. And here's Rick Dempsey. Dempsey, a 6 and a 72. 6 is tough. Tough 72 for Dempsey. 72 is a fly to center. Now, there's a runner on third, so there's a chance that there could be a sac fly out of this. So we'll check the results and look at the out chart. And the out chart with a 6 on the 2D6s. And out chart to the outfield is a short fly. So on a short fly, if game is tied or within 1 run, runner on third base may attempt to score. Well, it's not within 1 run, it's within 2 runs. So you're not going to take the chance on that. So Dempsey flies to left for out number 2. And it'll be up to Rich Dower to try to bring that run home. It's a 4, which is wheelhouse. That's in the wheelhouse. And it's a 51, so I'm not sure Dower can take advantage of that. He cannot. It only goes to 37. So 51 is a ground ball to third, and the inning is over. So the Orioles pick up a run, but it could have been more. We've completed 4 here at Memorial Stadium. It is Milwaukee 3 and Baltimore 1. And we start at the top of the 5th with Ted Simmons. I think I like it better with the cards up there. They're out of the way, and I can use this almost like a backstop, so that kind of works with the dice anyway. Hopefully everything comes out okay on camera. It is a 3 for Palmer, which again is the ballpark, and it's a 64. Simmons is batting left-handed, so that means he's going to be in the wheelhouse. As a switch hitter, he's hitting left, and a 74 or less gets you the wheelhouse. This was a 64. So we found Ted Simmons' wheelhouse. He did it last time, and Ted Simmons ended up grounding to short on it. Don't know if he can be that fortunate 2 times in a row. We'll find out. Yes, he can. It's a 77, so he got out of it. 77's a fly to center, handled by Bumry, and there's one away. So Palmer twice has put it in Simmons' wheelhouse, but has avoided disaster. It's a 10, and 10 is tough on Palmer. And it's a 23, so Ogilvy tough 23. That is a strikeout. So Palmer bearing down, trying to keep his team in the ball game for as long as possible. That brings up Gorman Thomas. 2 outs, bases empty for Thomas. That's an 8. 8 is in play, and it's a 75. In play 75 is going to take it to another fly ball to Bumry in center. And the Brewers are made short work of here in the 5th. Go to the bottom of the 5th. It's still 3-1 in favor of the Brewers. Top of the order for the Orioles. It'll be Al Bumry. Bumry, it's a 7 and an 83. 7 is in play. And a Bumry 83 is going to be a ground ball to short. So Yount handles that one easily. 1 away. Brings up Glenn Gulliver. And we get a 93 on the D10s and a 3. 3 is ballpark, so 93 is going to tell us we're in the in-play range. So we got an in-play result for Gulliver. And we get a 99, so that's not good. That's a fly to left. Anytime you get a 99, that's a fly to left. So 2 down for Ken Singleton. 2 outs, bases empty. And we get a 49 and an 11. 11 is patient. 49 under patient is going to be a walk. So Ken Singleton, 2-out walk, brings up Eddie Murray, the tying run, and Murray is 2 for 2. However, both have been singles. But he certainly has the power to go deep. It's a 9, which is in play, and a 32. 32 on the in play is just out of range. 32 is going to be a pop-up to Cecil Cooper at first. And that's going to end the 5th inning. So we go to the 6th. It's still 3-1 in favor of the Brewers. That early 3-run lead is still holding. And Jim Palmer on the bump. And it's a 9 for Palmer, which is in play, and a 97. So 97's that proverbial fly to left. 1 away for Charlie Moore. Charlie Moore, it's a 5 and a 41. So Palmer, a 5 is in play, and a 41 for Charlie Moore in play is a ground ball to Murray. Take it to the bag himself. 2 away. 2 up, 2 down, and that'll bring up Ed Romero, number 9 hitter. And we get a 5 and a 9. 5 is in play. In play, number 9 is a base hit for Ed Romero. 2-out single for Eddie Romero. Top of the order now, Paul Molitor. Molitor, it is a 6, which is tough on Palmer, and a 29. So tough 29 is a strikeout. It's going to end the 6th. So nothing doing for the Brewers. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. It's still 3-1. Sutton pitching to Lowenstein to lead things off. Lowenstein is a 5, which under Sutton is tough. And it's a 29, so a tough 29 is a strikeout. Sutton puts the K on Lowenstein, brings up the DH, Jim Dwyer. Jim Dwyer, it's a 7. 7 is in play, and it's a 92. 92 is a fly to left. So there's 2 up, 2 down. Brings up Cal Ripken. That's a 10 under Sutton, and 10 is tough. It's a 96. That's the other proverbial fly to left again. To get those high numbers in the 90s, they are flies to left. So 6 innings are in the books. It's still Milwaukee holding a 3-1 lead. And now double barrel action in the Oriole bullpen. We have Sammy Stewart throwing again, and we also have Tippy Martinez. So righty and a lefty throwing just in case Palmer falters. Got the heart of the order. It's Yount, Cooper, and Simmons. It's an 11, which is a defensive check under Palmer's card, and it's a 4. So if we check the defense 4, that's the range rating of the first baseman, Eddie Murray. So if we look at Eddie Murray, his range rating is a D, which is not that good. So on the ballpark card, a D is 1 to 55 for a hit. So this is a 55 or less. We got a base hit for Yount. And we do. It's a 36, so it is a base hit for Yount. He leads off with a single. Brings up Cecil Cooper. And that is a 6 under Palmer, which is tough. Tough 71. Tough 71 is a ground ball to second. And with a 2D6 rating of 6, that is going to be a double play. Oh, no, it's not. I take it back. Cooper only had a 4 for a double play rating. He must hit a lot of fly balls. So only get the force play, not the double play. So with that being a 71, it's a ground to second. So Dower flips to Ripken for the 4-6 fielder's choice. Cooper takes over at first base. And here's Ted Simmons. He's found the wheelhouse 2 times in a row, but has not taken advantage of it. Palmer would like to avoid the wheelhouse this time. It is a 3, but he might have done it against ballpark. But it's an 86, so an 86 means we're in the in-play range for Simmons. And that is a 56 on the in-play. 56 is a fly to right field to Singleton for out number 2. That brings up it brings up Ben Ogilvy. 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. It's a 7, and 7 on Palmer is patient, but it's a 72. So patient 72. It's going to be a fly to center. Bumry puts it away. And we've finished the top of the 7th. We're at the 7th inning stretch, but I'm on a roll, so I'm going to keep going. And Rick Dempsey in the box against Sutton. It's an 11, which under Sutton is patient, but it's a 98, so you got that proverbial fly to left again. And there's one away for Rich Dower, second baseman, number 9 hitter. Dower a 10, and 10 is tough, and a 20, tough 20. Tough 20, Rich Dower just got himself fought off and got himself a base hit. So Rich Dower fought off the tough pitch, stroked it into the shallow outfield for a base hit. Brings up Al Bumry. And Al Bumry, a 3. 3 is ballpark, and that's a 76. So 76, he just missed the wheelhouse. So this is going to end up being an in-play result for Bumry. And we get a 39. So Bumry 39, in-play only goes to 30. 39 is a ground ball to first. So now we need to roll the 2d6s to see if it's a double play or not. It's an 8, and his double play rating is only a 6, so 8's higher than that. It's going to be a fielder's choice. So Dower is out 3-6, and Bumry takes over as the runner at first. For Glenn Gulliver with 2 outs and a runner at first. We get a 4 under Sutton. That is wheelhouse, and it's a 40, so we are 40 on Gulliver. Unfortunately, the wheelhouse only goes to 28, so a 40 is going to be a fly to right. So Gulliver, warning track power, unable to do anything with it, just simply hit a fly to Charlie Moore, and the inning is over. So we played 7 complete here at Memorial Stadium, and it's still 3-1 in favor of the Brewers. Palmer back out for his next inning of work. He's got his fatigue rating is an 8, so he's good to go for this inning. Sutton's fatigue rating is a 9, so he's good to go all the way if he wants to. Depends on what Bamberger decides. All right, it's a 7 for Palmer, which is patient, and a 3. So patient 3 is going to be a walk to Gorman Thomas. So he will walk. And let's see, are they going to make a change? Or are they going to stick with what they've got? You know what? They're going to stick with Palmer for one more batter at least. Here's Roy Howell. That's a 9, which is in play. And the 17, in play 17 is a base hit. Lead die of 4 on the base hit. Runner advancement On a lead die of 4, you only get one base. So runners are at first and second, nobody out. And I think that's going to finally do it. They're going to make that long walk to the mound, Earl Weaver will, and take the ball from Jim Palmer and hand it over to Sammy Stewart. So Sammy Stewart is into the ball game, and he's got his work cut out for him. 2 on, nobody out. Palmer goes 7+ innings. And right now both runners are his responsibility, so don't know what his final totals will be until the inning is over. Here's Charlie Moore. Charlie Moore, it's a 6, and a 6 on Stewart is in play, but it's a 73. So a 73 is going to make it a fly to center, and that's 1 away. 1 down for Ed Romero, second baseman. And that's an 8 under Stewart, which is tough, and a 52. So a tough 52, out of range for Romero. 52 drops it to a ground ball to third. It's an 8, which is higher than the double play rating, so it's a fielder's choice. And that'll be a 5-4 fielder's choice to retire Howell at second. Thomas does make it to third, and Romero reaches on the fielder's choice. So runners are at the corners with 2 outs, and Paul Molitor, the batter. And that is a 6 under Sammy Stewart, which is in play. But it's a 75, so Molitor on a 75. He's going to fly to center, and the inning is over. So Palmer finishes his outing, giving up 3 runs, all earned. Let's check his hit total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he scattered 9 hits over those 3 innings. He walked 1, 2, 3. He walked 3. And let's check his strikeouts. He had 1, 2, 3. That's all I see, 3 strikeouts. So his final total, 7+ innings, 9 hits, 3 runs, all earned, walked 3, struck out 3, and gave up the home run to Yount in the first inning. And now Sammy Stewart is in the ball game. All right, so we go to the bottom of the 8th. It's still 3-1. And Ken Singleton will be the leadoff batter for the Orioles against Sutton. And don't forget the Brewers do have Raleigh Fingers in their bullpen if Sutton starts to falter. It's an 8 under Sutton. So Sutton, an 8 is patient, but it's an 89. So patient 89, he only goes to 65. 89 is a ground ball to Yount at short for out number 1. Brings up Eddie Murray. This is the inning the Orioles need to make hay. It's their big hitters. They won't have these guys in the 9th. So let's see here. It's a 5 under Sutton, which is tough, and a 33. So tough 33 for Eddie Murray is going to be a strikeout. So 2 down, and that brings up Lowenstein. It's not looking good for the Orioles. It looks like history is going to repeat itself. Here's Lowenstein. It's a 4, which is a wheelhouse, and it's a 21. So Lowenstein actually is going to go deep because his wheelhouse is 1-95. So that's a home run for John Lowenstein. And all of a sudden, it's a 3-2 ball game, and hope will spring eternal in the Oriole dugout. Brings up Jim Dwyer. Jim Dwyer, it's a 5 under Sutton, which is tough, and a 63. So a tough 63 for Dwyer. Only goes to 59, so a 63 is going to be a fly to center, and that's going to end the inning. But the Orioles get a run back on the home run by Lowenstein. We go to the 9th inning. The score, Milwaukee 3 and Baltimore 2. And in the bullpen for the Orioles is Tippy Martinez, a lefty. He's going to be coming in to face Cooper, but first Stewart's going to pitch to Yount. So he's going to get 1 batter as a righty on righty, and then they're going to bring in Tippy Martinez to start facing the lefty. And it looks like Raleigh Fingers is going to be coming in to pitch the 9th for the Brew Crew, as Sutton goes 8 solid, only gives up 2 runs, 1 on the homer. Let's check his hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits given up by Sutton. And let's check his walks and strikeouts. He walked 1, 2, 3. So he walked 3. And he struck out 1, 2, 3. So 3 apiece. So both pitchers I have unofficially 3 walks and 3 strikeouts. The final line on Sutton, 8 innings pitched, 6 hits, 2 runs, all earned. Walked 3, struck out 3, gave up the home run to Lowenstein. So right now, it's going to be Robin Yount on the mound again, in the box against Sammy Stewart. Stewart a 7. 7 is in play, and that's a 12. So in play 12 is going to be a base hit for Robin Yount. That is his 3rd hit of the ball game, 2 singles and a homer. And that's going to do it for Sammy Stewart. With the lefty Cooper coming up, they're going to the lefty Tippy Martinez. So Tippy Martinez will be coming in to pitch for the Orioles. Try to get him out of this inning. Lefty on lefty matchup against Cecil Cooper. And we get a 9, and that was a 5 there. 45. 9 and a 45. So the 9 on Tippy Martinez is in play. And a 45 in play is against the lefty is out of range. I remember to use the left column now. So 45 is out of range. 45 is going to take it to a pop-up to Ripken at short. And there's one away. Brings up the switch hitting Ted Simmons. He'll turn around and bat right-handed against Tippy Martinez. And we got a 6. 6 on Tippy Martinez is in play, and that's a 4. So an in-play 4 is going to be a double for Ted Simmons against the lefty. Now we'll check base running advancement on the double. So we get a double with a runner at first. The lead die is a 2. So you only get 2 bases. He does not score. The lead die of 2 on a double runner at first. You get 2 bases, and that's going to be it. If there were 2 outs, he probably would have scored, but he's going to stick right there. So runners are at second and third with 1 out, and lefty Ben Ogilvie is up. So the Orioles have the infield in to face the lefty Ogilvie. We get a 8 and a 23. So an 8 is tough. Tough 23 against the lefty is a strikeout. So Tippy Martinez getting the big strikeout there. It's 2 away. Gorman Thomas is a scheduled batter, but he will not see a pitch as they're going to walk him intentionally and go after Roy Howell. However, Harvey Keene, Harvey's Wallbangers, he's going to make a move to his bench and go for a right-handed pinch hitter to take over his DH. And that's going to be Don Money. So Don Money's going to pinch hit against the lefty Tippy Martinez in a big spot. We'll see if Don Money is money in this at bat. Bases loaded, 2 outs against Tippy Martinez. And we get a 7. And Tippy Martinez 7 is tough. Tough 63 against a lefty. Only goes to 45, so 63 is a grounder to second. Dower fields it, throws to first. And the top of the 9th is over. So the Oriole bullpen came through and kept the Brewers at bay. So we go to the bottom of the 9th, and Don Sutton will be retired, and Raleigh Fingers is coming in to pitch the bottom of the 9th. And he's got the bottom of the order, Ripken, Dempsey, and Dower, but there are pinch hitters on the bench for the Orioles. They have Disco Dan Ford, they have Gary Renicky, they have Terry Crowley, several different guys, Joe Nolan. So in looking at their cards, Gary Renicky seems to be the obvious choice for pinch hitting. So Gary Renicky is going to probably hit for Dempsey, most likely. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Right now, it's Cal Ripken facing Raleigh Fingers, 2 Hall of Famers. And we got an 11, which for, if I can get the card up, 11 for Raleigh Fingers is in play, but it's a 32, so I'm not sure if that's going to work on in play. It might. Nope, it only goes to 26, so a 32 is a ground ball back to Raleigh Fingers. So an easy 1 out there. And now Dempsey's going to be called back. They're going to go for a guy that has more power. Earl Weaver always looking for that home run ball. And they're going to bring in Gary Renicky. Gary Renicky is going to pinch hit. He hit 21 home runs in only 393 at-bats. So he's definitely got the power. It's just a matter of whether he can connect. So Renicky kicks the donut off the end of the bat, takes his practice swings, and he steps in the box here against Raleigh Fingers. 1 run would tie it. It's a 4, and a 4 for Fingers is in play, and that's a 6. So that could be good news for Renicky. In play 6 is going to be a double. So Gary Renicky has hit a pinch hit double, and the Orioles have something cooking. And Rich Dower is the scheduled batter, but he's coming back, and they're going to have veteran Terry Crowley is going to pinch hit. So Terry Crowley is looking like he's going to be in there to pinch hit, as he's the best they've got left against right-handed pitching. So that's what they're going to go with, or they could go with Joe Nolan. Let's see. Joe Nolan's actually a little bit better hitter, so they're going to go with Joe Nolan, backup catcher, because he would have to come in and catch anyway with the pinch hitting of Dempsey. So Joe Nolan's going to come in and pinch hit against Fingers, pinch hit for Dower. Nolan did have 6 home runs and 219 at bats, so it's got a little bit of power. 377 slugging percentage against right-handed pitching. So that's what they're going with. Again, Earl Weaver opting for the long ball if he can get it. And in this case, a long ball would be a walk-off. It's a 9, and a 9 is patient, and it's a 14. So patient 14 is going to be a walk. So Joe Nolan will actually walk, and that puts runners at first and second with only 1 out for Al Bumry. It does, however, set up a double play possibility. So here's Bumry. That's an 8. So an 8 on Fingers is tough, and it's a 76. Tough 76, it only goes to 54, so 76 is a fly to center, and Bumry is out of there, 2 down. And now Glenn Gulliver is up, but he's a pretty weak hitter, so they're going to go to the bench again. And this time they're going to Terry Crowley, the veteran. Terry Crowley is going to pinch hit for Gulliver. So Terry Crowley, and if they do happen to tie the game and send it to extra innings, it's going to be a mess defensively with all these pinch hittings, but they'll figure something out. Right now, Terry, they're not worried about that. They want to get there to worry about it, not end the ball game. So this is it right here. 2 on, 2 out, bottom of the 9th. Brewers lead 3-2, and pinch hitter Terry Crowley in against Fingers. And we get a 5 and a 17. So a 5. 5 is in play. That's a good news for Crowley. In play, 17's a base hit. So how about that? A base hit. And Renicky, the runner at second. Let's check his running rating. Renicky at second base. Where'd he go, Renicky? Did I put you away? Shouldn't have done that. All right, here we go. We'll pull him out here. Renicky at second base. We'll check his run rating. Renicky's run rating is a 6, which is huge because it says here that with 2 outs, runners rated 6 or higher advance 2 bases on a single. So that will tie the ball game. That pinch hit by Terry Crowley brings home Renicky, and we are tied at 3. And the Orioles still have a chance to win it as Ken Singleton is stepping to the plate. So the Orioles trying to come all the way back and change history. Runners are at first and second, 2 outs, tie ball game, bottom of the 9th. Ken Singleton, the batter, with a chance to win it, or else we're going to extras. It's a 9. 9 is patient. Patient 22, that might be a walk, and it is. So that's going to load the bases for Eddie Murray. So Fingers, very shaky, but they're not going to go to anybody else. He's the best they've got, so it's Fingers or bust right about now. So Fingers going to try again. Eddie Murray, bases loaded. This is it. Something's got to give right here. It's a 5 and a 53. 5 is in play, but a 53 is going to be well out of range for that. 53 is going to be a ground ball to third, and that ends the innings. So we're going to have extra innings. We're going extras here at Memorial Stadium, and we got some administrative duties to take care of here because there was a lot of pinch hitting and maneuvering, so we got to figure out who's playing where. We know Nolan's going to stay in the game to catch, so I got to put his defensive ratings in there, and he will be batting 9th and catching. So we need a new second baseman since Dower was taken out, and we need a new third baseman because Gulliver was taken out. So let's look on the bench and see who they've got to play second and third. We'll look at the Orioles bench. They have Floyd Rayford and Len Cicada, so that's who they're going to have to go to. So Floyd Rayford will take over at third base. Floyd Rayford at third base, and Len Cicada will take over at second. So Rayford's going to hit in the number 2 position, formerly held by Gulliver. And we'll put his ratings in. He's an A and a 1. He runs in an 8. And then, batting in the number 8 position will be Len Sakata, second baseman. And he is an F and a 2. Runs at a 7. So let's make sure I got the batting order straight for the Orioles before I continue. I don't want to have any problems. So we're going to have Bumry in the leadoff position. Rayford is going to hit in the number 2 position. Singleton's 3rd, Murray's 4th. Lowenstein is still 5th. Dwyer is still 6th. Ripken's still 7th. Sakata is now 8th. And Nolan is now 9th. So all those are taken care of. And the last out was made by Murray, so Lowenstein will be leading off the next inning. So there we go. We got everything straight there finally. And now the Brewers will have to kind of battle back after thinking they had the game won. They were up 3-1 through 7 innings, but the Orioles were able to battle all the way back. And we're looking at their bullpen to see who they might be bringing in the bottom of the inning. And they've got a couple of guys. They've got Jamie Easterly, a lefty. And they've also got Bob McClure, a lefty. And they've got right-hander Dwight Bernard. So they got a couple of guys there. Or they could just let Fingers keep going. We'll see what happens, what they decide. Right now, Charlie Moore is going to lead things off against Tippy Martinez in the top of the 10th. We get a 5, and a 5 is Patient. Patient 13 for Charlie Moore against a lefty is a walk. So Charlie Moore leads off with a walk, brings up Ed Romero. And D-bunter or not, he's going to have to bunt. This is just a obvious bunt situation. He is a D-bunter. So we're going to go right here, and hopefully for him, he can get 25 to 87. That would be a sacrifice hit. And it's a 95. So a 95 is a possible error. So it's an E question mark. Roll 1d6. If higher than fielder's error rating, the fielder makes a one-base error. Okay, now which fielder was it? To roll one die to figure out who the fielder was. That's a 6. So the fielder is the catcher. So the catcher, the new catcher, Joe Nolan, his error rating is a 1. And it says here that if it's higher than the fielding rating, the fielder makes a one-base error. Well, unless this is a 1, it's going to be an error. Everything else, 2 through 6, we got an error. And we do. So it's an error on Nolan. So not only do they not get the out, not only do they move the runner up on a sacrifice, it's going to be an error on Nolan. So it's credited as sacrifice plus an error. Puts runners at first and second with nobody out, and Molitor steps to the plate. He's not bunting, he's hitting. And we get a 2, which on Tippy Martinez is the ballpark, and a 35, which puts it in the wheelhouse. So wheelhouse for Molitor, only 1 to 16 is a home run, so good chance he won't hit a homer, but he could get a base hit. It's a 66, however. 66 is going to take it to a ground ball to second, so this could be a double play. We'll roll the 2d6s and check it out. It's a 6. It won't be a double play because Molitor is only a 5, so it's going to be a fielder's choice. Molitor is out, but Charlie Moore will move to third. Molitor's safe, actually. Romero's the one who's out at second base, as that is a 4-6 force play. So runners are on the corners with 1 out for Robin Yount. Yount, a 7 against Tippy Martinez. 7 is tough. Tough 40 against a lefty. Tough 40 against a lefty is a base hit for Robin Yount. Look at that, base hit. Lead die of 1, you get 1 base. So Molitor will only go to second, but that will score the run. It will score Charlie Moore. And the Brewers have reclaimed the lead 4-3 here in the top of the 10th against Tippy Martinez. Here's Cecil Cooper. Runs at first and second and only 1 out. It's a 4. 4 is Patient. Patient 33. Patient 33 against a lefty is a base hit for Cecil Cooper. Lead die of 2. The runners get 2 bases from, runner scores from second, I should say. And the runner gets 2 bases from first. So Cooper's going to get a base hit, and that's going to score Molitor to make it 5-3. And Yount will go to third. So now, with Ted Simmons up, Tippy Martinez is going to come out. He's lost whatever effectiveness he had. And so now they're going to have to go to relief pitcher. And it's going to be, let's see who they're going to go to here. They don't have a whole lot of options in their bullpen. They've kind of exhausted the two main guys. But they're going to go with Don Stanhouse. Stan the man unusual. He's a right-hander. Makes Simmons turn around and bat left-handed again. Runs at first and third. 1 out. Run infield double play depth. Looking to turn 2. It's a 7. 7 is patient, and it's a 78. Patient 78 is a fly to center. Now, is it a sac fly? Let's find out on the out chart. So we look at the out chart on a 7 in the outfield. 7 is a short fly, so it's not going to be a sac fly. It's going to be a simple out. So a 78 was a fly to center. So Bumry fields it in shallow center for out number 2. Brings up Ben Oglivie. Ben Oglivie. Oglivie, it's a 5, which is in play, and a 77. So Oglivie in play 77 is a fly to center. That's going to end the inning. But the Brewers pick up 2 runs here in the 10th. And we go to the bottom of the 10th. Last chance for the Orioles. And let's see how they're going to play this. They're going to bring in Bob McClure to try to finish this thing off, or the Brewers. So Bob McClure, the lefty, is on, which means we have another pinch hitter because John Lowenstein is scheduled to hit, but his left-handed column, you can see how sparse that is. He only had 7 at-bats all year against lefties. So he's going to be called back, and they're going to bring in Disco Dan Ford, the right-hander. Actually, no, they're not. They're going to bring in Benny Ayala. Benny Ayala clubbed left-handed pitching to a tune of 309, and Earl Weaver was real big on these platoon things. So Benny Ayala will pinch hit for Lowenstein, and if it does happen to go in extra innings again, Ayala can play left field. So it's Ayala against McClure to start the bottom of the 10th. It's a 10, which is in play, and a 42. So in play 42 against a lefty, that's out of range. In play 42 is a ground ball to Cooper, and Ayala is out of there. 1 away. Now Jim Dwyer is up, but he'll be called back, and Disco Dan Ford, because he's a lefty, they're going to bring in the righty, Disco Dan Ford. He will pinch hit for Dwyer, as Earl Weaver is exhausting all his bench best he can. This Dan Ford. It's a 9, and 9 is a ballpark on McClure. 65, however, is in play, not in the wheelhouse. So it's an in-play result, and it's a 71. So in-play 71 against a lefty is going to be a fly to center, and there's 2 away. So the Brewers 1 out away from winning the AL East and having history repeat itself. It's up to Cal Ripken to keep it going. We got a 6. 6 is tough. 36. Tough 36 against the lefty is a double for Cal Ripken. Look at that. He fought off the tough pitch and doubles to keep the ball game going. And now it's Len Cicada, the new second baseman, who had to come in. He's going to have his first at bat. He did hit 262 against lefties with 3 home runs. So not out of the woods yet. If you're Milwaukee, it's a 5, which is tough, and it's a 60. So a tough 60 against lefties. It only goes to 43. The 60 is a fly to right. And there's your ball game. The Milwaukee Brewers had to work for it. They had to go extra innings to get it. But they come away with a 5-3 victory over the Baltimore Orioles. And we'll be right back with the totals. Okay, let's look at the totals. These are unofficial. I did them pretty quickly as I was trying to scramble and get this all done. For the line score, 5 runs, 13 hits, no errors for the Brewers. They left 13 on base. For the Orioles, 3 runs, 9 hits, and 1 error. They left 10 on base. Winning pitcher was Raleigh Fingers, although he did blow the save, and then McClure came in and got the save in the bottom of the 10th. Losing pitcher was Tippy Martinez. He gave up those 2 runs in the top of the 10th. So there you have it. Payoff pitch baseball, and the 82 final game of the regular season in the American League East. History repeated itself. We almost had to come back. In fact, we did. The Orioles came back and tied it, sent it to extras with a run in the 8th and a run in the 9th, but they couldn't make it last, and the Brewers take on the Orioles and take them out and repeat history by the final score of 5-3. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it. Just keep those dice rolling, and until next time, we will see you down the road.